Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Hello, everybody. I am Alisha Collins. I am an agent with, in Casper, Wyoming, obviously with eXp Realty. And I have been creating video for about 6 years. And I've developed a strategy over the last 3 years that I repurposed my content over multiple platforms. And so I am going to share that with you today and kind of show you how I started and why I do it the way I do it. So I'm going to share my screen here. I repurposed because I'm going to show you who kind of introduced this to me. Krista Mayshore started the process with me starting video, me starting to distribute it properly. And then I started doing other things and repurposing it that way. And the reason we do it is because research shows that most people are on two platforms. So they are on, they're going to be I watch TikTok and Facebook the most. Other people are YouTube and something else. So that's why you want to be on a lot of different platforms. And the other thing is content's not shown to everyone. So especially when you're getting organic reach. So if you're posting on Facebook 3 times a day, let's say, then everybody that follows you is not seeing it. So that's one of the other reasons that I do that. And you're getting more reach and more exposure for free on a lot of these platforms that I'm going to talk about. How I started is, I started on Facebook and I got really good at Facebook. I do advertising on Facebook, or I spend money behind my ad. And right at the beginning of COVID, I started doing YouTube. And so what I was doing is and TikTok wasn't really I wasn't totally aware of the power of TikTok. And so what I did is I just took that long form content that I was putting on Facebook and YouTube, and I cut it up in pieces. And I would post one video a day. My assistant did it actually for me. Now I had to shoot it slightly different. I had to, this obviously is landscape. So my videographer had to go back a little bit more so that we could get a portrait. So what I did is I would just take it into Canva and trim it and download it. And so that's how I got my first 1,000 followers on TikTok, is I just cut up long form content. Now I kind of look back and I think maybe that wasn't the best way to do it, but it was the way that I started. And I think everyone can start that way and then ascend up in how you're making content. And remember, the more videos you make, the better you are and the faster you get. It's like a muscle that you are working all the time. So I started that. I started the long form, split it up, short form. And then I started making, about 2.5 years ago, I started making specific TikTok content. And then I decided, well, maybe I should put that on Reels. So that's what I did. This is kind of the film. So you film a little farther back. So Tristan is the one where this is his picture. This is kind of what started my ideas for really getting the short form content down to how I do it now. And so what he was saying is, you're taking long form, making it in shorter videos, putting it on YouTube Shorts, which is 60 seconds, TikTok, which now can be 10 minutes. Some people can even do longer. You could do Pinterest idea pins. I don't do that yet. Instagram, Facebook. And now there's, X and Snapchat and all of those things. So this is kind of my way of how I kind of started it. You do not have to do all of them at once. You just start. You do one thing. So you make the TikTok video or make the YouTube video, split it up, put it on TikTok. That's it. Then you add something else. So your something else might be Reels on Instagram. And in each platform, you can add different hashtags or any other thing you want. We just kind of copy everything and put it on that other platform. One other thing that I do is we do Instagram and Facebook stories. And on Facebook, we do my personal page and my business page, stories and reels. So this is really how I do it. I thought I boilerplated down. So we also go to LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, and then the stories, like I said, in the reels. Now, what I wanted, this is a lot. And so you can hire somebody to do it, which I have done. But you also can use an automation system to get it going. And that's what I wanted to show you. But before I show you that, I want to show you why, one of the reasons why I post on all of the platforms. I'm going to have to stop share. I don't know what's going on. See share. All right. So let's look. This is, can you guys see this? Okay. So this is my TikTok profile. Now I post I post 3 times a day. When I am in the mode of like that I can talk and stuff comes out of my mouth better, the older I get, the harder that is. I video as many as I can. So if you really looked at this, you could see that I'm in the same clothes every like 8 videos or something. So I sometimes I do 10 at once, and then we edit them in my office. I record them in TikTok. So I start in TikTok because it's easy for me to edit. It's easy for my girls to edit. So that's how I do it. Now, the more you post, the more likelihood you have to go viral, to gain more followers, to just get more people to call you. However, you have to disassociate yourself from the outcome, because if 56 or almost 57,000 followers doesn't mean that I'm going to get a ton of clients. And so there's other things you can do to monetize this account. But so my point is you just have to keep going. The facts that I get most of my clients from Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, but TikTok is my starting place, and we do get clients from there. So anyway, but what I wanted to show you here is like this one got 46,000 views. It may get 1,000 on another platform. This one might get 13 on TikTok, but it might get 20,000 on Instagram. And so you can see that you kind of see the views. Again, don't get tied with the views, but this is why I repurpose. So now let's go. This is my personal page. The reels, see, they don't get as much views, but it's okay. Because it takes just a little bit of time to repurpose these. Now on, this is again, short form reels on Instagram, and you can see that I get, different views on this too. And then lately so YouTube used to get me, mainly buyers who were moving to the area. So now what's happening is, because I'm repurposing, and so I would just do long form. I didn't ever do shorts. And now that I'm repurposing them, I'm starting to get sellers off of YouTube, because I'm talking to sellers. I'm talking to buyers. I'm talking to, local people, not just people who are moving here. So that's the cool thing about the repurposing. And sometimes I'll go like a whole bunch of time and it'll have, in the thousands. And then I'll get a 400. Like, you never know. And that's why you just have to keep posting and don't be tied to the outcome. So this is called Repurpose.io. And this is the kind of secret sauce in how you can distribute your content. Now, there is some limitations to it. And so there's a few that we automate, and then there's a few that we don't. So y'all probably know, if you do anything on Instagram or TikTok, that there's a watermark. And you have to go to like something called SnapTick to take that watermark off. And SnapTick doesn't always work. So with Repurpose.io, it's about, I think it's like $289 a year. You can set up connections. And so what happens is one of the very first ones I set up was Google Drive. So every time I post on TikTok, then it automatically puts the video in my Google Drive. I was going to show you the ones that. So in the last 24 hours, I've posted these 3 videos. So they're in my Google Drive. Okay. So that's a location they go, which is kind of cool because if I ever want to use them like on a landing page or a funnel of some sort, I already have them all downloaded with no logo. Now you can have like, I have someone who downloads them from here and puts them as a story. But so these are all the accounts that are set up, that are connected together. So I have all these accounts hooked up, the connections. Then I set up workflows and you can see the ones that I have active. So TikTok goes to Snapchat. So it just takes the logo off, takes the TikTok logo off and posts it to Snapchat. Now these are new connections. So I have no idea, what I don't, there hasn't been enough time because I've only done it for a month or so to see what happens. This one, it also goes to Twitter. Now, stories have to be a certain length, so we break these apart and do it ourselves. Instagram could be direct as well, but it's only 90 seconds, and so sometimes it cuts it off. And I'm sure that you guys have watched enough reels to know that a lot of people do that. So they're just cropping them off at 90 seconds, and who cares what's after that? Shorts can only be 1 minute. And so that same thing. You could make this manual and you could say, cut it off at the time allows. Now, one of the things about YouTube that you have to be really careful with if you're doing long form content is that if you post a short form video and it's longer than a minute, it's going to post it as a long form. And you do not want that because it's the wrong direction. And then it has that like black weird edge and it messes with your long form content algorithm. And you don't want that to happen, especially if you're getting a lot of leads. We manually post to LinkedIn and manually post, this one goes automatically. We auto post to LinkedIn, auto post here. So this is a way, again, you do not have to do all of this at once. Like I started just by putting it in Google Drive and LinkedIn. Like that's how I started. So this is the best way that I found to get everything done. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Alisha, this is great, wonderful stuff, and I'm really into it. Just a quick question. It's a fair amount of a lot of work. And can you quantify what kind of results you're getting from these efforts? Not just leads, but literally closings?
I can. So we close between 200 and 300 a year, depending on the year. Last year was a little less just because of the market. It was around 200. And I actually can find that. So what happens is, actually, I'm going to find a slide. 1 second. So we get between 30 and 40 deals a year from YouTube, and we have a lot of repeat business. Let me see if I can find this quickly. I can't talk and find it at the same time. So 1 second. I'm just going to use this slide. All right. Can you see this? Okay. So what happens with these videos on Facebook, especially like Casper, Wyoming's kind of a Facebook town. And so a lot of our clients are on Facebook. And so our past clients, they they'll speak back to me what I said in the videos. They watch them all. And so I am dripping on the past clients And we're getting a lot of repeat business. I mean, look at the past clients and the sphere. That's a lot. And then client referrals. So all of this, I mean, that's dang near 50% of our business is because of these videos. People will say, well, Alisha, you said, and then if I didn't get the feeling when I walk in that house, I shouldn't buy it. If I say, oh, it'll do, I shouldn't buy it. Or you always say, I have to understand everything I sign. Like all of those things, I know it works because they are watching and listening and then acting on what I say. And so YouTube was 12%, Facebook was 13%. All of this is, now some of the Facebook is lead ads, but I'm getting their information. I'm paying for them, to opt in, right? To get a list of houses, but it's because of those videos. Now, it is a lot of work. I do think it's a lot of work. I'm a content creating machine, but the more you do it, the faster it is to just pump them out. I mean, sometimes I can pump out 10 videos in 20 minutes for TikTok. I hand my phone to my assistant. She edits them. I do a little work after that and I post them. And then everything else is kind of seamless as it goes out. I mean, people are working on it, but the return on investment is fantastic. And I think that you're also creating you are creating a relationship. Somebody called me off of Facebook or off of YouTube last night. They're moving here from Pennsylvania and they kept saying like, oh my gosh, we feel like we're best friends with you already. We already know you. We've watched 10 hours of your content. And I'm like, oh, kind of weird. But the other thing is they're my people. So I didn't have to try to, I already had the relationship. They knew they were going to use me as an agent and they felt super comfortable with me. So they tell me whatever, and it's just, and you're getting the people that like you for who you are on that video, not the people who don't like your energy. Because if you don't like my energy, you're probably not going to hire me. This so far is everything. I think it's halfway into March that we've done because I did this presentation, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And so if you our past clients for 2024, I think, how many have we closed? Like 40? Have we 40 deals? We've closed about 40, 35 or 40 deals. And so a lot of them are past clients. So you see the client referrals, the sphere and past clients this year could be more than 50%, which is, pretty amazing. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. One more follow-up question. I'll call it here at the very beginning. How long have you been doing this whole thing?
So in 22, I made the commitment to myself that I was going to post 4 TikToks a day for 6 months. And I did that. Then I went to 3. And then last year I did 2 or 3. And then now I consistently do 3. Now some of the stuff is lagging. So the automatic posts would be the same day. So like if I post on TikTok and I'm posting automatically on LinkedIn and Twitter and Snapchat, all those are the same, right? But the Instagram and the Facebook, we post manually. So those are about 3 or 4 weeks behind, and which is fine. And that's just how we do it because we don't post on Sunday. That gal doesn't do that for me on Sunday. So 3 or 2.5 years, 2 years, but I've been creating video for 5. So my YouTube page has, I think I've been doing it. I've been doing it since the very beginning of COVID.
That's fantastic.
Yep. Any other questions?
I don't want to monopolize things. I have another question.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
I've been focusing on starting video with YouTube. And so how do you feel about sort of that and starting with YouTube and then backing into Facebook, Instagram? And that's pretty much what I'm doing.
You could totally do that because you could take your long form and you could shorten that. And do you have an editor that's editing them?
Yes, my assistant, and I'm also looking at some other people to do that.
Okay. So what's going to happen then is you're going to have them take all of the verbiage off of it, like that you do, if you have stuff flying in or whatever, for words, they take that off the final one and they take the music off. And then you're going to just crop it up into little pieces, and you could have an editor do that, or you could do it in Canva. So you just drop it in a template for TikTok and you just squeeze what you want to cut out, download it, do the next one, download it. And then they could go on all the different platforms. Now you have to be careful that they make sense, because I've seen people where they cut them up like on some of those AI tools, and it doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. The other thing is, and I think that someday you'll probably make short form content for short form, but it's the long form to short form is a great way to start. That's how I started. I just don't do that anymore. I mean, my long form is long form. And then I have heard a lot lately that people are saying you need to create on TikTok, you need to create on Instagram, you need to do separate stuff. And I took my Instagram account from like 500 followers to 9,200 followers only by repurposing content. I don't do anything else on there. I mean, we post them like, just listed, just sold, under contract, blah, blah, blah. Kind of the boring posts, but we still grew that account and we're getting clients from it. So you don't have to create everything for every platform separate. Okay, I want to share this. So a lot of people ask me what you should create for short form. And I just trained my mind to constantly look for videos. So, and I've done it. I've been thinking about it for over 2 years. So I am constantly like, oh my gosh, I need to make a video about that. Or one of the things that's working really good right now is so I make a video and then I get a ton of comments. And I've started, see if I can find one that I did one. So then I started replying to the comments like this one. Hopefully it doesn't blare out. Okay. So look at all these comments. So I can start talking about like, this one was about leaving the TV mounts or keeping them as the exclusion. And so this person said, I'm going to repair the walls. So I could reply to that and talk about why you might want to leave it because the paint might not match anymore. I mean, there's so many things that you can think of, that come from these. And so that has been one of the things that is working for us. We just talk about, say the comment and then answer it. And then whatever happens in a transaction, that becomes content too. Now, there's a lot of times that I don't share that till way after. I might record it when I'm in the moment and in the emotion, but I'm going to post it later. And the more you do it, the more you exercise that muscle of creating video, the faster you are at it. Now, are they all good? No. And the other day we were talking about done is better than perfect. And somebody said, done is better than none. And I thought that was so good because if you never post the video, you never get the result. And so you really have to just keep going. Like, there's so many things that we could be talking about that evokes emotion in people that they're going to respond. So one of the things that people really like me to talk about is Home Depot. Like I can go to Home Depot and talk about bare paint, talk about fixing something up, talking about cabinets, and it like totally people have massive opinions about bare paint. And so which seems ridiculous. And obviously people had massive opinions about whether you should take your TV mount or not. Those are the things that like help grow your account because, and I call them home base. Like Home Depot is my home base. Like I know that if I go back to Home Depot and make a video, then I'm going to get views. And it's harder for me to go to Home Depot now than it ever has been because I'm so busy, but I still need to make the time to do it. So. And that is all I have. So if anybody has any other questions.
Alisha, where do you look? I got to send you some referrals.
Casper, Wyoming. Little old Casper. Where are you?
I'm in the Research Triangle Park, RTP, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay. Awesome. Any other questions?
No.
The other thing that we do is, we do have a brainstorm about some short form video. We do it every Monday at noon. And it's just brainstorming video ideas. So it's called Script School. So that can help people too. So, all right. I think we're done.
This has been fantastic. I really appreciate those. Thank you.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.